nicknamed Ludwig Miller. It's kind of a funny story behind that because the Baroque cello, I forgot to tell you, has been nicknamed Cello Miller. Miller's my last name. For a really long time, because when I used to buy seats for it on the airplane, they needed a name for it, for the seat, to hold the seat. So we said Cello Miller. And then when I got this modern cello, I thought, well, it's not Cello Miller, it's something else entirely. So Ludwig Miller. Anyway, so this cello is a sort of no-name German instrument from late 19th, early 20th century. It's also had kind of a hard life. It's a little bit beat up. But you'll see this is in modern setup. So again, with the longer fingerboard, the more curvature to the bridge, typical tailpiece with fine tuners, end pin, and steel strings. So I have some good old Larson steel strings on here. And then I have the modern bow, so the bow with the curvature that goes this way, which really the aim with the modern playing is to even out the sound from the frog to the tip. And with Baroque, it's like the opposite. You want to use all of that variety and bounce and bloom to make different shapes. So same with modern interpretation of Baroque music. It's quite a different sound if you've ever listened to Casale's recordings or Yo-Yo Ma or Rostropovich. Quite a different sound than the Baroque cello. So this cello is tuned at 440, and we know, I mentioned the range for Baroque cello, 392 to 430, anywhere in there, depending on what repertoire you're playing. For modern instruments now, the pitch keeps ratcheting up. I don't know, some people may have noticed with the bigger orchestras, 440 is our typical A on the piano. Then we get 442, and some orchestras are as high as 448, which makes it necessary for the wind players to get special joints and things like that for their instruments in order to play that high. So we might think, why so high? And we think about originally these instruments are made for music in smaller settings, chambers and so forth. And as halls got bigger, we needed bigger and bigger sound. So for one thing, we have the end pin, which makes it so very little of my body is in contact with the instrument. Just barely, my legs on the edge here and a little bit in the center of my chest. But otherwise the instrument is free to vibrate much more. And with the higher pitch, you can think about higher frequencies are carrying a lot better, so we get higher and higher, tighter sound, so that it carries more, it's more vibrant in that sense. Again, as a matter of personal preference, I tend to like the lower pitch. Like modern life is such a high pitch already. We've got screeching brakes and buses going by, so it's so nice to sort of take it back to that mellower sound. But then again, I'm a little bit biased as an early music person who likes to play that way. So this cello at pitch 440 with a modern bow in a modern setup, and I'll play a little bit of the Allemande so you can hear a bit of difference. And I'll try also to do a bit more of a modern interpretation as I play it. So you may have noticed a bit of a smoother sound, some vibrato, and much less use of open strings. It sort of became a no-no. I notice now when I play in a modern orchestra, I much more have to hop around and make sure I'm covering strings. So the modern palette much less likes the open string sound than we do in the Baroque era. It's sort of like not a no-no to do that. So a lot more, a lot smoother, a lot more vibrato, some more covering of strings, and quite a different sound with a higher pitch and modern setup. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.